Yeah, Bobby, I'm on a case. I have to drive to Pennsylvania and check out probably some ghoul that's killing people in a mine. Oh, wait, hold on. Sam's calling in. Sam? My Bloody Valentine 3D, released in 2009 and is directed by Patrick Lusser, who's directed such films like Trick, Dracula 2000, White Noise the Light, and Drive Angry. And he was also a writer on Terminator Genesis. So, right there, buddy. And this film is starring Jensen Ackles, Jamie King, and Kerr Smith. 10 years ago on Valentine's Day, a bunch of teenagers were murdered in a mine while partying. However, it was thought that the masked miner killer serial killer person was killed because he was never seen again. However, 10 years later in the small Pennsylvania town, strange killings by pickaxe have begun again. And Dean Winchester, who was at the party 10 years ago, has returned to town to sell his father's mine. So all eyes and fingers points to him to being the murderer. But that's the fun thing about this movie, is that you don't know who is the murderer until it's too late. And it's weird because they keep calling Dean Winchester Tom in this movie, when I'm like, why are you calling him Tom? It's Dean Winchester. This is Dean Winchester from Supernatural. What are you guys doing? The same voice, the same performances, the same acting choices with his voice and his physicality, down to the costuming. This is Dean Winchester. I mean, if Sam Winchester also this year in 2009 has his little movie stint with horror with Friday the 13th, why not Dean? Poor Dean, he always gets the shitty end of the deal. However, I think he got the good side here because comparing the two, this one is by far much better than Friday the 13th, The Killer Cut. And surprisingly, it was a fun experience trying to figure out who the murderer was. And that's when the slasher genre works for me, is when I'm trying to figure it out like a detective. It's a detective story. You're trying to figure out who the killer is. If I know who the killer is, then the whole slasher genre is just pointless and stupid and boring. You're just waiting for stupid people to do stupid things, which end up totally happening in those movies, as it does here, except here all of the slashing and action is actually happening, because this movie is called My Bloody Valentine 3D, so things are coming at you. Whoa! That stupid frickin' 3D craze, and you know it's gonna come back. It happens all the time. Every, 10, 20 years, all of a sudden there's a resurgence. Oh, this is gonna be in 3D. Oh, we shot it in 3D. I need my special 3D glasses. That way I can feel immersed into the story. Can I give you a little secret? Eh? It's still 2D. That's something that I cannot wrap my head around. Why people think, during a little short specific time, why 3D is cool. It is not. It is still 2D. JK. The only time that 3D has ever worked in a movie was Dread 3D. That was fantastic usage of the whole cinematic craze that was 3D. Because in that movie, you would take a hit of whatever the drug was called in that movie, and then you would feel all of the effects, and the 3D usage was implemented there, and it was like, hey, this, okay. That's what 3D is for. Colors, slow motion, that's what it was called. It was called slow-mo. Colors, slow motion, water driplets everywhere. You can see all the dust follicles. That works. Whereas here, when you get realistic scenery and a color palette that's pretty stale and pretty gray-toned, everything seems bland to me. Even though there are some cool scenes where the pickaxe is coming towards the camera, or someone is punching towards the camera, looks pretty cool. It's still 2D though. How about this? Go ahead, put your 3D glasses on. You know, with the whole 3D YouTube format now. Go ahead, put them on, and now, 3, 2, 1, whoa! Caleb watches movies in 3D! Whoa! It's so cool! Spoiler, it is not. Now again, with all that being said, I actually had a really fun time with this movie trying to figure out who the killer was. I would say I was a little let down with who ends up being the killer, because my mind was going in a million different places. Oh, hey, they said that this guy died back then, but maybe he didn't. Or maybe it's him. Does it have to be a him? Maybe it's a her. Who knows? And then we get the reveal and I'm like, okay, it makes sense, but Couldn't we go deeper with it? Come on. I do like that a lot of the kills make sense in this movie. Like, this guy doesn't have supernatural abilities or supernatural powers, even though, of course, Dean Winchester is here. But there's no, like, hey, they're here 1 second and then they're over here the other second. It's not like, hey, they have telepathic powers like Jason did in Friday the 13th that year. Here you can tell that this is a person in a miner's suit and a miner's mask going around, and I like that. I like the realistic feel of this. We do get the stereotypical female performances in here, where I guess it's just standard, where women have to scream at everything whenever they're scared in slasher films. Or they call out if anyone is there in a house when no one should be there. Huh? What? Hello? Is anyone there? I heard a noise. I mean, this is my own house, but hey, is anyone there? So yes, we do get the stupid characters. It comes with every slasher film, but it's fine. I come to accept those in this genre. Again, the big appeal, though, with this is that I'm trying to figure out who the killer is, and that's fun for me. Curtis Smith is here, and he plays the sheriff of the town, who was a popular kid and a survivor of the original massacre 10 years ago. He tries to be authoritative and seem like the guy in charge, the guy that everyone looks up to, and I don't get that from him at all. It's probably the facial hair. It's so weak and thin, and it just doesn't look good. I'm a facial hair snob. If you don't have a good face of hair, just don't grow it. Sorry. There's a time to experiment with that in like high school and in college, but learn it quickly and then figure out what works and then do that. And if it doesn't, don't. And Jensen Ackles, I mean, he's a solid actor, but he always plays the same actor, unfortunately, and that's Dean Winchester. That's why I keep saying Dean Winchester is in this movie. They keep calling him Tom. He's not Tom, he's Dean. This was a fun movie, though. I would go back and watch this again. There were a lot of fun kills, and again, the excitement of trying to figure out who the killer was. I don't know how that would play on second, third, and fourth time viewings, but I'm willing to give it a try. I think this was a good time. I'm gonna give My Bloody Valentine 3D 3.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I am above average.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos, where I pick which Halloween movie I'm going to be watching next, so let's take a look. Army of the Dead, a zombie movie. A new zombie movie, too, came out earlier this year, directed by Zack Snyder, and I think was released right after the release of his Snyder Cut of Justice League on Netflix, I believe, so this should be a pretty easy watch, or at least easy to find. And I remember liking what he did with Dawn of the Dead in that remake, so if we're going back to the zombie world with him, I'm excited to see what happens, and I heard good things. And it counts as a horror Halloween movie. It has zombies in it. Deal. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, you can make a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do. Just attach your movie recommendation with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, give you a shout out on the channel, and get my review of it published as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, have you seen My Bloody Valentine 3D? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before, and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Army of the Dead. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.